Hello there, I'm Ben and welcome to the show. It's a big show. We're going to show you what things mean in the world of music, namely ADD2, ADD4, SUS2, SUS4. Now you've seen a lot of it in songbooks, in my songbooks too maybe, and we're just going to sort it out once and for all. What does it actually mean? Now we use those quite a bit. In the Bob Dylan song it starts with a D, so, and in there we sometimes play. Oh, that's nice because we're on a D all the time, but all of a sudden changing a few things in there gives it movement. Well, that's one of the many things knowing about the sus's and the adds can bring to your ukulele playing or to your music in general. What's happening here is, ta-da! Whiteboard time! Okay, we've got a triad. Now, every major chord and every minor chord without any numbers behind it is 3 different notes. It's a triad. C-M, D-M, B-flat, F-sharp, F-sharp minor. They're all triads, 3 notes. Now what's happening in D is that we've got, in the D, we've got a D, we've got an F, sharp, and we've got an A. Now let's count. If the D is the 1, because of course it's number 1, it's the name of the chord. If the D is the 1, what is the F? Sharp. Let's count the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, I remember. A, B, no wait, D. Let's count starting at D, E, F. Oh, so that's the 3rd. So this note in the chord is the 3rd. Okay, that's a 3. What note is the A? Oh, we need to count the alphabet. A, B, C, D is 1. E, F, that's a 3, G, that's a 4, and what's after G? A, C, D, E, F, G, A. A is after G because the notes stop at G, you know, and then it starts again, it's A. So D, E, F, G, A. So this is the 5, this is the 5th. First of all, let's see if we can find them on the ukulele. Well, we probably can, because the 5 is the A, and we know we've got an A here. A, what's this note? On the 1st string, on the G string, oh, it's an A2. Oh, so we've got 2 A's, so 2 5, 2 fifths. C, D, oh, that must be the D, because it's just over C. C, E, open E string, F, oh, that must be the F sharp. Okay, so we've got A, D, F sharp, A. Hey, it checks out. Our D, in fact, has 3 different notes. It has 2 of those. I'll just put it ×2, but we don't need that really. It's just so you understand what's going on with the ukulele strings. A D on the C string, an F sharp on the E string, fret 2. And that's your main note of the chord, the 3rd and the 5th. Now what happens if I move this, which is, by the way, my little note on, it's on E2. What if I move that to E3? This F sharp here, E2, E3. Well, that means that this note, its existence is suspended for a little bit. It's not really the identity of the chord, of the triad, but we take this note and we suspend its existence. And that was a G, and actually we turn a 3 into a 4, and we use a G instead. So then we have D, G, and A. 1, 4, D, E, F, G, and 5. So 1, 4, 5, we've suspended the existence of the 3rd, and momentarily we have a 4th, and that's what that is. That is your sus4 here. You see, there's no more 3rd in the chord, there's just a 4th, and that's why we call it sus4, suspended 4th. Now if we were to do the exact same thing, but instead of going 1 up in the scale, we would go 1 down. No, 1 note down in the scale. That was a semitone. We are in D. So we need to go either 1 up here, do, which is a semitone, or a whole tone down, do, to stay within the scale. That's a bit technical. Well, that's instead of a sus4, we've taken the third and we've suspended its existence, and instead we have a second. So instead of a third in the chord, instead of 1, 3, 5, we've taken the 3 and we've transformed it. We had 1, 3, 5, we've transformed this into a 2, which is our F sharp that now becomes an E on E0, the open E string, and we've got 1, 2, 5, the first note, the D, an E, and an A, and that is your sus2, because you've got a 2 here and no third. No third. Its existence is suspended, right? And maybe it comes back. Oh, 1, 3, 5, it returns, and then you've got a normal D. So that's sus2 and sus4. Let's do a quick little exercise. Let's just take a C. You know the C? It's beautiful, it's blue, it's wavy. It's lovely to surf on it, I've heard. It's nice to swim in it, that I know. It's the C. G, C, E. Do you know what this note is at the very top? Actually, it sounds exactly the same, but higher. It's the octave. So actually we've got G, C, E, that's our open strings we know, and C. So in the C chord, we can see also we have 3 different notes, because we've got the C twice. We actually have the 1, which is the C. We've also got the third, C, E, F, wait, no, C, D, E. We've got an E, that's our open E string, and we've got a G, our open G string, C, D, E, F, G. It checks out. We've got 1, 3, and 5 in the chord of C. And if you identify them, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but 8 in music equals 1. It's the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, 2, 3, 8. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got the fifth, the main, the root note, the third, and the root note above. Now, what to do if we want to play a sus4 on the C? Great question. Well, first thing, you must remember where the third is, because any sus chord, you take the third, suspend its existence as you transform it into a fourth. That's, of course, that's not what that means, but that's how I like to explain it, because it's a really simple way to remember sus4. Oh, we've taken the third, suspended it into a fourth. But also it's because the chord sounds as if it's suspended in time, and it's got a fourth there. Suspended fourth. Ooh. So, what to do? I just played it. Did you notice? sus4. C sus4. But if you knew it already, you'll know it was open, open, 1, 3. You take the third here, that's on the E string, and transform it, suspend it, into a 4. E to F. What if we were to play a sus2? That'd be really tricky, because we can't take this third here and turn it into a 2, because we can't go down with our E string. So we'd have to go and find a different way of doing it. Here we'd actually have to transform the third into a fifth to make sure there's no third, because sus2 is the third, is suspended into a second, and we'd play the second just above the 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, and open, 2, 3, 3. There you'd have your sus2, C sus2. But basically the exercise was just you finding out the sus4. Hey, pretty good job. So now we've figured out the sus's. Oh, let's do it on the G briefly. And I'll tell you now, it's G, D, G, B, and the third is the B, this last note. Here's the third. Now you want to transform that into a fourth. And if you're playing a major chord, the fourth is just 1 semitone above the third, which means just add your little finger here. And you've got G sus4. What about G sus2? That's really easy. Can you figure it out? G sus2. The third is here. You want to suspend its existence, so no more third, and instead of a 3 of a third, you want to play a second. So G, A, B, G, A. You want to play an A instead of a B here. How to play an A? Well, actually, you lift your finger, and that's the open string. It's the A string. So actually, open, 2, 3, open here. it's it's root note, fifth, root note, second, but it's your G sus2. You've suspended the existence of the third by not playing it, and instead you're playing the second, the note between the G and the B, and that's the A. Between the 1 and the 3, there you'll find the 2. Mathematicians have been saying that for a long time. Before we move on, I just want to say that I've prepared in the description for the subscribers of this channel a big document with all the chords that you usually play on the ukulele, but with all the little notes that you can add to them to embellish your playing. Now, if you have this, print it out. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I should make a poster. Because it's really useful, because anytime you're playing anything, then you can add these little notes. And then instead of playing simple chords, you're playing entertaining, lively music, just with your strumming. What about adds? Well, remember our D. We played D, D sus4, and D. But what if instead of taking away a third, taking away the third that's on our E string, the F sharp, and transforming that into a fourth, we'd like to keep the same 3 notes of our triad, and instead of changing a note, we'd like to add a fourth from D, which is actually, you can count. What's a fourth from D? Alphabet time. D, E, F, G. G is the fourth, so we want this chord plus a G. We want this guy to be invited at the party and nobody to leave. And that will then become, because G is the fourth, we will then not call it suspended. We don't suspend the F sharp from existence. We actually add a note, and then we have a chord with 4 notes. What? Party time. Hello. And we'll call that add 4. So we keep the same 3 notes and we add a new one. How are we going to do that? Well, one option would be to see if we can add the fourth on the note that was played twice. Now in the D, we saw it earlier, we play 2 A's. It goes A, D, F sharp, A. What if we had a look at how to add a G from that note? A, D, F sharp, A. Now I don't want to move the F sharp, only got one of those. I don't want to take away the D, I've only got one of those, but I've got 2 A's. Now one of these has to become a G. How are we going to make one of these A's become a G? Think of the name of your strings. Do you have a string called G? Because that's what we're looking to play. Yes, you do. Yeah, let's just take away our index. And now we've got G, D, F sharp, A. So we've still got our chord, our triad. But we've added the fourth. D, E, F, G, and that's add 4. It sounds very different than the sus4, doesn't it? Because now there's 4 notes, there's intense rubbing. That's what's happening here. Between the G string and the E string, between the G and the F sharp. Sometimes I like to angle my strums according to what I'm playing so I can hear. He'll have the sus and he'll have the normal chord. That's something that also you can experiment with as you play the ukulele and play with add chords, is the angle of your strumming. You can miss a note and then create waves of sound according to your angle of strumming. That's quite fun. So what about add 2? Well, it's the same. Instead of adding a fourth, we want to add a second. So, who's the second in the world of D? If D is number 1 and we're playing a D chord, so remember the root note is D, not the chord, the note, and that's number 1. What's the 2? D, alphabet time. What's after D in the alphabet? Z? No, wrong answer there. The rest of you had it. It is in fact E. D, E. So, we want to play an E. We want to add an E here, and actually it's going to be really tricky on the ukulele, but I'll just give you the answer. Well, you can pause and try and figure it out. how to have D, F sharp and A and an E in your chord. Yeah, well, good luck with this, but a way you can do it is just decide that you'll just keep these open strings, A and an E, and then we need a D and an F sharp over here. And really hard to get an F sharp on the G string, can't go down, but here we can have a D and we can have the F sharp on the C string. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. So actually there's a really easy way, beautiful, I love this chord, beautiful way to play the D add 2. If you've paused and have tried to figure it out, maybe you've come up with something else, like 2, 4, 2, 5, but I like to play it 7, 6, open, open. And that's your D add 2. Sounds much less rubby than a D add 4, because in the add 4 you've got a semitone rubbing between the F sharp and the G. But here, rubbing is just open tones. D, F, A. Okay, and now I'm going to do a few series of tests, and you have to figure them out. You pause, try and think about it. If you get them right, well done. If you get them wrong, well done for trying. And don't forget, there's a document. Go get the document. Goodness gracious, it'll help you out a lot, I think. I will. I should make a poster. I've said it before, but really I should. So, let's play C add 2. Okay, well, that's really easy because we've got 2 C's in the C add 2. So what you want to do is take your 1 here, that's your C, that's your root note, and transform it into a 2. So 2 semitones. Basically, you need to sort of have a feel for scales to know if it's a semitone or whole tone, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's your C add 2. Open 2, open 3. Now, a C, tricky, add 4. You can pause. Okay, well, C add 4 is pretty tricky, but we've got 2 C's, so why don't we just play the 4 on the same C string? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got the 4th, the 3rd, the octave, which is the 1, or the 8, the same thing, and the 5, 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 1, or fret numbers. Open 5, open 3. If you played it differently, then maybe you're right. But you need to make sure you've got an E somewhere. Quick little test from the G. And remember, in the G you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So those are your numbers, so maybe that helps you out, I don't know. G add 2 and then a G add 4. Go! So G add 2, that will be, maybe you figured it out when you paused. G plus 1, that's A, because we started at the beginning of so let's have the A string open, and we need the B still, because we're adding. And here's our G, here's our triad, plus add 2. So I'm playing it 4, 2, 3, open. G add 2. Now G add 4. I'm playing it 5 with my index all across the 2s. 2, 3, 2. Because here you've got the 4th, here you've got the 5th, here you've got the root, here you've got the 3rd. There's lots of ways to play all these chords. Let's do one last one. Let's take the chord of A and play add 2, add 4, and then sus2 and sus4. Okay, pause. That's all the A's. Gosh. Okay, I hope you paused and you struggled, and maybe here's a bit of solace for you. Let's start add 2, add 4. Very simple. What note do we have twice in the A? It's the A. It's A string. We have another one of those. Here's the 5th, here's the 3rd. Well, so add 2, we'll just change one of those to a B. Da, 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Add 2. Actually, we could have played it like this too. What about add 4? Well, let's transform this A. We've got 2 A's anyway into a C sharp, and then we can play 2, 2, open C sharp. That's an add 4. But actually it sounds nicer to add the 4th in 1, 2, open 5. 1, 2, open 5, that's the fret numbers, but actually you've got root note 3rd, 5th and 4th. Okay, now A sus2 and A sus4. Well, I feel like we've done A sus4 before. It's the A and you turn the 3rd, which is here, the C sharp, into a D, and that's your sus4. The 3 becomes a 4. And now for an A sus2. So no more 3rd. Let's just transform this into a 5th for now. Ah, there we go. I've transformed this A into the 2nd on the G string. And the C sharp here becomes the E, so that's the 5th. So we've got 2, 5, 5, 1. Oh, fret numbers is 4, 4, open, open. But I was singing the notes compared to the root note. That's the 2nd, that's the 5th, that's the 5th, that's the root note, the 1, 2, 2, 2, 5, 5, 1. Hey, well, if this is confusing, you can just spend more time with me, because that helps, I think, on the various videos of the channel. But you can also get the document with all the diagrams of all the susses and adds that you can play around with on your ukulele. Well, actually, technically, it's not all the adds and the susses. Basically, what I've done is I've taken the basic shapes of chords that we know and shown you what's in the area, what's very close, what's in the vicinity of these chords already. So there's not going to be any sort of crazy woof adds all the way up here, but it's easy shapes, how to play around with them. And of course, it can't be a definitive guide to what you can add to chords, but it's something that's sort of designed to hopefully maybe open a door for you of trusting yourself to sort of try stuff around chords, and you can make that a habit as you play. Thank you so much for sticking with me all this time. This took forever. Have a wonderful day. Take care.